This Brez scale secret made me $87,000 in 30 days. Now, Brez scales hit $500,000 a month before turning 22. Everyone's obsessed with freelance brand scaling and the whole model, but here's what nobody's telling you. That model made me $87,000 in the last 30 days, not by copying it, but by understanding the psychological warfare behind it and using it to build something 10 times more valuable. If you're stuck at $20, $30, even $50,000 a month and you're thinking you need more clients, more ads, more everything, you're about to discover why you've been lied to. Let me show you exactly what Brez is doing that's so brilliant and why 99% of people copying him will fail. First, Brez didn't invent anything new. Freelance brand scaling is just SMMA with better positioning. But here's the genius. He took a saturated market, social media marketing agencies, and created a new category instead of competing with 10,000 SMA owners. He owns freelance brand scaling. And it's the oldest trick in the book. Iman Gadzhi did it with arbitrage SMA. Instead of learning skills for years, you get contracts and outsource them. Same model, new mechanism. And here's what's actually happening in your brain when you hear freelance brand scaling. Your brain hears freelance brand scaling and thinks, this is new, this is different, this might be my escape route. It interrupts your pattern. You're not thinking about SMA anymore. You're thinking about this shiny new opportunity. And this is exactly why people pay so much money for his course instead of learning it for free on YouTube. The positioning creates value, not the information. Now, instead of selling the obvious thing that everyone is selling, I use this exact psychology, and that's how I was able to make $87,000 last month. And here's the thing. I can't show you the exact positioning I use just yet. My clients might kill me, right? But I can show you the framework. I took what everyone thinks is business coaching, and let's just say I don't compete with 50,000 coaches anymore. The beautiful part, same skills I always had, same results I was getting clients, but the positioning created a completely different conversation. Instead of, hey, want some marketing help? It became, holy shit, how did you figure that out? Look, the result, clients are paying me $10K upfront instead of $2K monthly, but the methodology behind the positioning shift, that's where it gets interesting. Because once you understand how this works, you'll never look at your own offer the same way again. Here's a mistake people make after hitting 20, 30K a month. They think they need more clients, more team members, more systems. But what happens is you're at 30K rev, you hire 2 new people, 4K each, add software, ads, overhead, and suddenly you're at 60 hours a week for 12K profit. That's a job, not a business, and you're trapped in implementation hell. This is exactly where Brez starts to break down. Because at the end of the day, he still has to manage Facebook ads at 2 a.m. He's still hopping on client calls, and he's still actually doing the work. But there's a level above this most people never see. It's not about doing more. It's about, well, that's for another video, right? Let's just say when you understand how to monetize your methodology instead of your time, everything changes. So you need to identify a saturated market you're competing in. For Brez, it's SMMA. For most of you, it's maybe business coaching or marketing. Now, create a new mechanism. Instead of I help with sales, I help high ticket closers stuck at 5 to 7K monthly break through objection walls using my unique mechanism, right? And here's where everybody gets it wrong. They think it's about the words when it's not. And here's what I mean. Everybody else teaches you how to make sales calls. I teach you how to never make sales calls again. Everyone else shows you how to get clients. I show you how to make clients chase you. You see the difference? It's not a better version of the same thing. It's the opposite of what everyone expects. Brez doesn't teach Facebook ads. He teaches how to get paid to learn Facebook ads on someone else's dime. Or he doesn't teach how to use a company and cold call and get Facebook ads. He teaches you how to leverage a personal brand to get clients coming to you. Now, when someone asks, how do I get better at closing versus how do I set up systems so people close themselves? Those are 2 different universes. One keeps you in the old game. The other makes the old game irrelevant. But here's the part that'll mess with your head. It's not about what you do. It's about what happens after they work with you that no one else can deliver. When my clients implement this, they don't just make more money. They become unemployable. They can't go back to the old way because they've seen what's possible. And that's the real mechanism. You're not selling a service. You sell a transformation that can't be undone. And the really interesting part, and where most people copying Brez hit a wall, his model caps out. You can handle maybe 10, 15 brands before you're overwhelmed, overworked, trading time for money. And it's just at a higher rate for more. But what if instead of managing more clients, you create something that works without you entirely? A system that you own. Like for example, John, one of my clients, he made $121,000 cash collected in the first 35 days of working with me. Now it's not 35 days of him grinding 80-hour weeks. It's 35 days of the system working. Compare that to managing 15 ad accounts where you're lucky to clear 30K profit after expenses and team costs. That's not freelancing anymore. That's not even consulting. That's something else entirely. And here's the kicker. John's results aren't untypical. When you understand how to leverage the system and the model, these numbers become very repeatable. Let me show you exactly what it looks like. The offer structure. Instead of 2K monthly retainers, you're getting high upfront PIFs and one-time payments. And then you have the acquisition system. It's YouTube content, yes. Outbound, yes. But there's a third element that ties them together that I've never seen anyone else talk about before. And I'm going to make a full video on it. And component 3 is the fulfillment infrastructure. This is where it gets weird because you're not actually fulfilling anything yourself. When someone pays you to install a system and they get a 5 to 10x return on investment, they're going to be begging for more. And when you've got 20 people generating these kind of results, word spreads fast. And here's the part that keeps me up at night in a good way. Brez owns freelance brand scaling. That's his moat, and good for him. But what happens when you're not competing in any other existing categories? What happens when people can't even describe what you do to your friend? That's when you know you found something special. I have clients tell me this the first time they've seen results like this, the first time they've worked with someone that approaches it this way. And that's not marketing speak. That's what happens when you stop copying what everyone else is doing and start building something that didn't exist before. Look, I can't teach this entire methodology in a 15-minute YouTube video. Hell, I'm not even sure I should be sharing this much. But if you're stuck at 20, 30, 50K a month and you're tired of trading time for money, if you want to understand how to build something that works, DM me the word system and I'll show you exactly how this works.